Matthew O'Neill. He collaborated with Gandolfini on his veterans documentaries for HBO, a sister company of CNN. Matthew, you and I coincidentally were emailing yesterday about a different project, and almost as soon as we finished our conversation, you heard this horrible news. You told me that Gandolfini was this incredibly warm person, nothing like the gruff, tough guy he so often played. Tell me about him.
You know, so many people are remembering him as Tony Soprano, and I'm always going to remember him as the man of such goodness who wanted to bring attention to the soldiers and airmen and Marines that you see in Alive Day Memories and in War Torn. You know, he had gone on some USO tours and heard the stories of the men and women serving overseas, and he listened to them, and he wanted to bring those stories back to more Americans. So many people were paying attention to him as an actor, and I think it was really telling that in these programs, he was working to bring attention to the men and women that serve overseas.
And Matthew, where did this passion for veterans issues come from?
Well, he had done a number of USO tours, and very specifically, he went on a visit to Walter Reed Hospital with Sheila Nevins, the head of HBO documentaries, and that was really the catalyst for Alive Day Memories. He wanted the stories that the soldiers were telling him from their bedsides, that the people were telling him on the USO tours, to reach an American audience. He wanted the people to stand up and pay attention, and he wanted to put his fame and his passion to good use and make sure those stories were heard. And
you could see his warmth with the soldiers in the clips from these movies that you directed, Matthew. Was that what he was like in real life? Was he a warm, embracing person?
Jim connected to the people around him in such an intense and emotional way. He was interested in what people had to say. He listened. I think it's what made him a great actor. I think it's what made him a great producer. It's what made him want to tell these stories. When he was speaking to you, if you were a documentary filmmaker, any other collaborator, or if you were a soldier, or if you were the guy next to him on the subway or driving the car, he listened intently, he paid attention, he worked to understand you, he wanted to see the world from your perspective. He was an incredibly warm and generous person. That's why you saw such, I think you see such love from his friends, from his family, from his colleagues, and from the community at large. We all connected to something wonderful and good in him.
And I know that you were working on a third documentary with him about the relationship between learning disabilities and incarceration rates. Not exactly a project an actor takes on to get rich and famous. We wish you the best of luck with that, and thank you so much for coming on the show, Matthew.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks for remembering Jim.